for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by Muse, now bet, America's leading spray deodorant. Now with its anti-immunity factor. Poof, there goes perspiration. Now let's all play What's My Line? Now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, our publisher panelist, Bennett Cerf.
On my right, on the eve of her holiday trip to Paris, a girl everybody loves, including myself, Arlene Francis.
And on my right, one of the wittiest men in town, the wittiest man in town, Fred Allen.
Thank you, Arlene. And on my right, ladies and gentlemen, a young lady who knows a musician with a Philharmonic. This man is so bow-legged he can play the cello standing up, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Thank you. And just across from me, the most atomic member of this combination, a gentleman who leaves right after this program by plane for Yucca Flats for the next atomic test, Mr. John Charles Daly.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. Once again tonight, we have some interesting folks with some very interesting occupations. And this time, as was true last time, we're sure we're going to give the panel a rough time of it. Last week, they upset our plans. Perhaps we'll make the grade tonight. We'll also have a famous guest challenger a bit later on, but right now I think it's time for these experts to meet our first challenger whose line has to be spotted. So would you sign in, please, ma'am? Norma C. Norma C. Dodd. Is that right? Is it Miss or Mrs.?
Miss.
Miss Dodd. And where are you from, Miss Dodd?
Washington Courthouse, Ohio.
Washington Courthouse, Ohio. Well, fine. And you have some friends here in the house. Now, over there is a panel that would like to have a chance to get a closer look at you. So would you take a walk down in front of the panel for me, please?
Well, Miss Dodd?
Hello, Miss Dodd.
Miss Dodd, did you move your watch up last night?
All right, now, Miss Dodd, will you sit up here, please? And we will, again, because it's spring and we like to change things a bit when spring comes, dispense with our former practice of a wild guess. We will tell the folks at home and those who are here with us in the theater what your line is, but we'll make the panel work for it. So let's let the viewers at home know what's up. There remains only one thing. Do you know how we score this operation?
Yes, I do, Mr.
Well, fine, Miss Dodd. Then we will announce that you're salaried, and let's begin the general questioning with Fred Allen.
Miss Dodd, whatever this is that you do, does it involve a product?
Yes, it does.
It does. Does this product have moving parts?
Yes, sir.
Can this product do anything?
What? Well, yes, it can do. It can do
Well,
something.
no. I mean, if you had the product here on the stage with us, could it do anything? Well, it has moving parts, you said. Would it be have to move around or something like that?
Yes.
Well, actually, to the degree that we
Well,
had
that's
it
what I
here on
meant.
the stage, its moving parts could certainly function.
Well, that's what I was trying to, the information I wanted, John, and I'm surfeited with it at the moment. Tell me, would I be apt to find this product out of doors?
Yes, sir.
Is this something that could go from place to place?
Yes, sir.
Is it possible when I left my house to come down here to the theater tonight that I came in one of these?
No, I don't think so, Fred. One down a night to go, Miss Preston.
Miss Dodd, is this anything that children might enjoy?
Yes?
Yes. Is it entertaining in any way?
It could be.
Yeah, I would say this. You asked the question, is this something that children might enjoy to the degree that we accept that children could get enjoyment out of it, we would agree at the same time that it could be entertaining, you see.
There you go again, John.
You just did it to me, too.
Is it larger than Fred Allen's bread box? No. Yes, it is. Can anybody get inside of it?
No, I don't think you could get inside of it. No, 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Sir.
Miss Dodd, could this product, by any chance, be a member of the animal kingdom?
Yes, sir.
Is it a live animal that you have to deal with? Is it a domesticated animal?
Yes, sir.
You said it was larger than Fred's bread box, which I've never seen. I've seen where he keeps the bread he eats, and that's not too big. Is it a 4-legged animal?
Yes, sir.
Would it be found on a farm?
Yes, sir.
Does it provide anything that we use as food?
Yes, sir.
I don't mean its own carcass. I mean, does it provide something besides its own carcass that we use as food, such as milk or...
No.
No, sir. 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
This is a 4-legged animal,
Yes, that has been elicited.
and it's something other than a cow.
It is something other than a cow is a reasonable presumption.
Is it something other than a goat?
Is it something other than a goat?
Yes.
Would it be unlikely that Fred would ride on this, as well as in it?
No.
No, I think Miss Dodd misunderstood the question. Would it be unlikely that Mr. Allen would ride on this?
Unlikely.
And I would
yes.
think that even
Yes,
Fred, I would say, wouldn't ride on this.
Fred is very colorful, I'll admit.
Yes,
But,
side saddle almost.
would it be difficult for anybody to ride on this particular animal?
Yes.
Yes.
Would you ever find this particular animal's product in a sandwich?
Yes.
On rye? Is it a pig? Pig?
Is that what you said?
Is
Yes,
it a
that's
pig?
what I said, but I'm sorry.
Would you like to withdraw that question?
No,
Oh.
I really meant it.
Well, I don't know. I've got to get together with the expert here.
Well, it's either a pig or it
There are all
isn't.
kinds of pigs.
There's a mama pig and a papa pig.
I'm a hog and you're a hog.
Now, Miss Dodd is very generous, and although the terminology is not as exact as we might like to have it, we would agree that pig could be generally accepted here as a description of the product, yes.
Well, you know, I'm not too big on biology, but is it some member of the porker family?
Yes.
Well, would you call it a hog?
A hog is right. Fine. Now all you have to do is determine what it is that Miss Dodd has to do with a hog.
She raises them.
Raises hogs, that's 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Allen.
She slaughters them.
That? Oh, that makes it 5 down and 5 to go, Miss Francis.
Miss it, I'll miss it by a good...
Sells them.
Sells them, that makes it 6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Syrup.
Do you sell some of the products from a hog?
No.
7 down and 3 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
She inoculates them.
8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Allen.
She associates with them.
I am going to, on the basis of my knowledge of just what it is that Miss Dodd does, I'm going to rule no on that one. 9 down and 1 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you inspect hogs?
Inspect hogs?
Why not?
10 down and no more to go. Miss Dodd buys them. I hope you had fun. We had a lot of fun, and you won the full prize, and I'm glad. And thank you very much for being our guest on
She's
What's
taking
My
the
Life.
bacon home with her tonight, too.
Let me give you a half score on that one. Let's see what you can do with the second challenge. Would you sign in, please, sir? Henry S. Too good. Is that right, sir? Would you tell us where you're from, Mr. Too Good?
Old Line, Connecticut.
Old Line, Connecticut. Fine. Now the panel again would like to get a better chance to look you over. So would you walk over in front of the panel for me?
Too good for what, Mr.
to be true.
Not too good, I hope.
All right, Mr. Toogood, over here, if you will, and sit down next to me. And we will let the folks at home and our friends here in the theater know what your line is, but the panel is going to have to dig for it. So now let's let the folks at home, those here in the theater, know what Mr. Toogood does, and the panel get ready to go to work. You know how we score this, Mr. Toogood?
Yes, I do.
That's too good of you. I knew I was going to do that before we got very far along, and I won't do it again. That's a promise. All right, then, let's just announce that you're salaried and begin the general questioning with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Mr. Toogood, do you deal in services?
Yes, I do.
Can both sexes enjoy your services?
Yes,
Are they adults, human beings?
usually.
Do you work in an enclosure?
A big one.
Do you work inside of something?
Yes.
You don't go from door to door?
No.
Yes, you do not go from door to door.
Do you wear approximately what you're wearing now when you do your work?
No.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Allen.
Do you wear a uniform?
Yes, I do.
Could be so described, yes.
In the process of functioning, do you place your hands on the people who come to you for your services?
Yes, I could.
But do you?
Not as a rule.
You're making it awful hard for us to give you a yes there. I would say this, that Mr. Toogood said he could do it, and there would be occasion might come in physical contact with the people who use his services.
Do you have special hours in which you perform your services?
Yes.
Are these late hours at night?
No.
They're not.
That makes it 2 down and 8 to go, and I would say the hours question here is not necessarily going to be very helpful.
Well, we lost one today. I just thought we might bring it down.
Oh, my. Miss
Best I could
Francis.
do.
Would I be correct in assuming that you do not work for a non-profit making organization?
That's right, yes.
I put that just about the way you do some of your answers, John. It was fun, wasn't it?
I'm getting it figured out, too. Wait a minute.
He works for a profit.
He works for a profit-making organization. Is the uniform that you wear easily recognizable?
Yes.
Does it have buttons and braid?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Sir.
Mr. Toogood, does this company that you work for have anything to do with transportation? No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Are you in some line other than the entertainment field?
Yes.
Do you do most of your work in the daytime?
Yes, I do.
But it is something that conceivably could be done at night.
Yes.
Does it require special education?
Well, I would say yes.
I would say here, if I may, sir, that we have a sort of standard term of reference, and this question suggests kind of particular training that has to do with a schooling of a particular and certain kind, yielding a degree or some certificate of... And so, 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Allen.
If you had a commercial with that, John, you'd have your own show. Do you require any appliances to do your work?
No.
You don't. Just do it by hand, the old-fashioned method.
There's no specific appliance needed. 6 down and 4 to go, Miss Francis.
Is your position informative in some way? Do you tell anybody anything in your...
No.
Including us.
Really at all?
I would say, Arlie, that there are certain occasions when, as a normal part of Mr. Toogood's work, he might be a bearer of information, but it's not fundamental.
I really, may I say what I meant by it?
Yeah.
I meant, for example, if he were a butler or a houseman or something like that, he might give information about the telephone calls and so on.
Well, in that connotation, I think Mr. Toogood would agree that we'd give you an affirmative answer.
Trapped you, didn't I, John? Is Mr. Toogood, a name that is absolutely superb for the position, a butler or a houseman?
Mr. Toogood and I quickly agreed I ought to keep my big mouth shut. That's what I ought to be doing. Well, Mr. Toogood, I'm sorry, because I think I kind of walked in there and let somebody clip us, but we hope you enjoyed
If you
your
ever
visit.
get discharged, they'll probably say, too bad, too good.
Well, we meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first of all, here is a story in code from Stopette.
It's real news, say cosmeticians. It's real news, say the women of America. Yes, it's news that you can now get Stopette in a brand new form. It's a new kind of cream, made by the makers of famous Stopette spray deodorant. And it's so easy to use. It swivels from its pretty plastic case, just like a lipstick. And like a lipstick, you can carry it in your purse. Think of it. No stubborn jars. No gooey fingers. No waste. Nothing to wash off. You never touch the new Stopette. You hardly know it touches you. And like the original spray deodorant, you can expect more of Stopette. For this new Stopette cream is one you can count on to protect you all day long. For Stopette alone protects you 3 ways. First, it's a deodorant. Second, it's an antiperspirant. And third, it soothes, because it contains the same soothing ingredients you find in Stopette's lotion spray. So if you prefer a cream, shouldn't you get Stopette, the new way to smooth away perspiration?
Pardon me. Now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which my friends in the panel are always blindfolded. And the blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes, Mr. Daly.
Good. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? All right. Panel, and you folks at home, and those of you who are with us here in the theater, we're going to continue the happy practice we began last week of changing the manner of playing the game as far as our mystery guest is concerned. Panel, each one of you will get only 1 question at a time. However, 10 no answers will mean that our mystery guest has won the game. Are you all squared away on the rules now?
Yes, sir.
All right, then with no further ado, let us begin to play the game, and we'll begin with Arlene Francis.
Are you in the entertainment world?
I should say so.
All right. Good.
All right, Mr. Sir.
Has your name ever been up on the marquee of a motion picture theater?
Yes.
Miss Kilgallen.
Are you a gorgeous blonde?
Yes.
Are you in a picture that's currently appearing on Broadway?
No,
That's
not now.
1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Are you a leading lady? I say, John, you are.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Mr. Seth?
Would you be described as a chantootsie by anybody?
As a what?
A chantootsie, meaning a girl who warbles.
That's close. Yes, I'd say that.
Miss Kilgallen?
Well, does close mean that she sings?
Yes.
Do you ever sing in anything besides the motion pictures?
Yes.
Were you born in this country?
Yes.
Good for you.
That laugh is different from the tone of your voice. Are you by any chance married to Toulouse-Lautrec?
No.
You're being very tricky. You're married to Jose Ferrer, though,
You are
aren't you?
right.
Yeah.
You're Rosemary Clooney.
Rosemary Clooney is right. Planed in from Europe this morning and leaving town tonight.
I
We
thought
we
it was
could
so
send-
brilliant. I rehearsed that English accent all the way.
It was wonderful, except when you laughed. You
No.
didn't laugh in English.
I laugh Kentucky, don't I?
You
I
laugh-
always
Deep
Kentucky.
South.
That husky voice, Rosemary, is you.
You've been in Portugal with,
Yes, I spent half of April in Portugal.
with your good husband.
Yes, and he's working very hard, and now I'm on my way back to my baby son. Right now, I can't wait.
How old is he now,
2
Rosemary?
months. He's an angel.
Are you counting your blessings?
I've counted them. I do every month. Yes. What
Well,
was he
I'm
new?
sorry we didn't give him a rougher time.
I am too. I'm kind of disappointed in my accent.
Will you say good night, Miss Fowler? Well, thank you very much. Fennel, you're getting too good, though. This is not very well indeed, but perhaps we can trip you up with our last challenger. So would you sign in, please, ma'am? Dale Strong, is that right? Is it Miss or Mrs.?
Mrs.
Mrs. Dale Strong, and where are you from?
Gary, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana. Fine. That's big steel country, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Big steel country. I thought so. Well, maybe we can steal a march on the panel. But meanwhile, you take a small march in front of the panel, will you?
Let's add it on to it, John.
Hello, Miss Strom.
How are you?
All right, now, Mrs. Strom, over here, if you will. Sit down next to me, and we'll see what we can do with the panel. Actually, the first thing we'll do is let the folks at home and the people here in the theater with us know what your line is, and then we'll see if the panel can dig it out with some judicious questioning. So let's let the folks at home know, and... All right. They are that, and maybe we'll surprise the panel now. Do you know how we score this operation, Mrs. Strong? Mm-hmm. You do. Fine. Then, with no more ado, we'll announce your salary, and we'll begin the general questioning with Bennett, sir. Pardon me.
Mrs. Strom, you have nothing to do with guitars, have you? I mean, strumming guitars.
No.
Yes, Mr. Cerf, Mrs. Strom does not have anything.
I thought that was good for Bennett.
Thank you. Is there a product involved in what you do?
Yes.
Is it a useful product, Mrs. Strom?
I would say this, Bennett. There is a product to the degree that something comes into existence, but this actually would be secondary here, and you would spend your time more beneficially on the basis of a service.
In other words, that there is a service that you perform.
Yes.
Is this a service that you perform in one place, Mrs. Strom?
No.
I don't mean by that you have to stand in one spot. I mean that you do it in one establishment.
No.
No?
We'd better have a small conference. Just a minute.
We had a conference over here, too.
No, one down, a night ago, Miss Gilgallen.
Mrs. Strom, are people diverted or entertained or made happier by what you do? I hope so. I sort of felt that you were fun. Do both men and women enjoy your services? I didn't hear that. Do both men and women enjoy your services? Yes. Would your services apply more to grown-ups than to kiddies? No. Everyone likes it.
Don't give him any information. Quiet now. 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Allen.
Well, are you engaged in any form of the entertainment business?
Yes.
Yes, you could say in a general sense, yes.
Well, if you entertain men and women and children, you don't take animals in that category, do you? Are you a professional entertainer?
No.
No, not as
Well,
we know
don't
the
get
phrase.
mad about it. I just asked a simple question. Gee.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you, by any chance, do any writing in your work, Miss Strom?
Yes.
Is the writing that you do done to cover special stories?
I would say that's a very good description of it. The writing that you do is done to cover special stories, wouldn't you say so?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I never thought of it that way.
I think I'm in big trouble. I meant, do you, for example, would you cover certain stories to write for a newspaper or a magazine? No.
No, that's 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Sip.
Mrs. Strom, would the stories that you do ever appear on either a radio or television program?
No.
No. 5 down and 5 to go.
Very profitable.
Are there any illustrations that go with the stories you're connected with? Yes. Do you have anything to do with comic books or comic strips? Yes. Or do you write or draw a comic strip? Yes.
Yes, that's it.
Now I'm ignorant. Which one?
No, actually, that's wonderful, Colonel, because that's exactly what it is that Mrs. Strom does. She's a comic strip artist. You probably know her professional name better, Dale Messick.
Oh, yes.
And she draws a comic strip called...
It's also for a newspaper, though.
It's also for a newspaper, but you said
when
cover
I
a
said
story.
Stories,
So
I
far.
see. Well, I think of
She
comic
is-
strips as stories because that's how I get all my information.
She's the creator of Brenda Starr.
Oh.
Well, very good. And congratulations to the Colonel and Mrs. Messick. All right, Mrs. Strom, Dale Messick, thank you very much for being our guest. It was nice to have you on What's My Line. Good night. And congratulations all around. That was a tough one. We didn't think you were going to get it. We'll be back in just a moment, but first, Starpet has an old-time movie for you.
This is Millie, a gal with millions who lived in a mansion with servants to cater to her every whim. And she had a yacht, but alas, she had no friends. For she could never find a deodorant that really worked. But one day, Millie saw a sign in a window. You can expect more of Stopette. So she dashed into the store where Ferdy the pharmacist introduced her to Stopette. Stopette keeps you just like a lily, he said. And then he whispered, it's also an antiperspirant. Millie was overjoyed. Now her sumptuous sequin satins would be safe. Then Ferdy added, Stopette also soothes because it's a lotion spray. That did it. I'm sold, Millie cried. Then time passed. Millie and millions bought wonderful Stopette. Soon Ferdy's business grew and grew and grew, and Millie became Ferdy's blushing bride. Oh, a happy day thanks to Stopette, the deodorant you spray. Poof, there goes perspiration.
Attention, if you suffer with flaky damage...
Our panel says good night. May I remind you to tune in again next Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time, when once again we invite you to play What's My Line. For other localities, please check your local listings for the date and time of our weekly series.
The Remington shave is the fast shave. Just watch how fast those whiskers come off. Earlier, Jim Congdon shaved the other half of his face with the old-fashioned wet shaving method, and it took more than 4 minutes. But look how fast he's shaving the rest of that full beard with the Remington electric shaver. That's because the Remington is man-size, has 3 diamond-honed shaving heads. For the fast, clean shave you've always wanted, give yourself the Remington shave.
And now, until next week, this is John Daly saying good night, Miss Dorothy.
Good night, John. Good night, Fred, and have a lovely time, Arlene. We'll miss you.
Arlene, we want you to have a very pleasant vacation in Europe, and good night.
Thank you, Fred. That's very sweet of you. Good night.
Leaving by plane, I'll be looking up.
All right. And you have a nice time in Olean, Ohio, Bennett, where you're going. Good night.
Really?
In Paris was nice. And good night to Mr. Two Good's brother, Mr. Even Better, John Charles Daly.
Thank you, Bennett. Goodbye, Miss Arlene. Have a fine time, and we'll welcome Miss Lorraine Day next week and hope you have a wonderful vacation. You've earned it. And good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
Transportation for Miss Dodd was arranged through American Airlines. American Airlines, the country's leading airline, now serving the United States, Mexico, and Canada. This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network.